Okay, so here we have x minus 8 over 4x squared plus 21x plus 5 plus 6 over 12x plus 3. And remember, I've been constantly telling you, you got to make sure you're not a factor. You got to make sure you're not a factor. So in all of these problems, it's important that you know how to factor and that you're factoring accurately so that you can get the right answer. So let's start with the problem on the left. So we have 4x squared plus 21x plus 5. They don't have anything in common. So that means that we're going to have to multiply a and c. So that's going to give me 20. So I need to know what multiplies to give me 20, but adds to give me 21. So that one's pretty basic. That means I need a 20 and a 1 because a is 4. I'm going to do 20 divided by 4, and that's going to give me 5. And then I'm going to do 1 divided by 4, and that doesn't simplify. So then this problem is actually going to factor to x plus 5. And then remember, I put the x and then drop it. So that's going to be 4x plus 1. And then 12x plus 3, they both have in common a 3. So I'm going to factor out a 3. And then I have 4x plus 1. Yeah. So then I need the greatest occurrence of each term. So my leading coefficients in both of them is a 3. So I'm going to have 3. And then I have an x plus 5 here and a 4x plus 1. So it's going to be 3 and x plus 5 and then 4x plus 1. So that's my denominator. Okay. My numerator on the left already has x minus 8. Notice that I put that in parentheses because I want to make sure that I know that that was already there. And then I have a 6. So now let's look. I have on the left side, I already have an x plus 5, and I have a 4x plus 1, but I don't have a 3. So I'm going to put a 3. On the right side, I have a 4x plus 1 and I have a 3, but I don't have an x plus 5. And so then I'm going to do the multiplication. So 3 times x is 3x, and then 3 times negative 8 is minus 24. That's going to be plus because I have a plus sign here. 6 times x gives me 6x, and 6 times 5 gives me 30. And that's all over 3 times x plus 5 times 4x plus 1. And then I just need to simplify my numerator. So I have a 3x and a 6x. That's going to give me 9x. Then I have a negative 24 and a positive 30. That's going to give me plus, oh, that was a random mark. Let's see. 9x plus 6. And that's going to be over 3 times x plus 5 times 4x plus 1. Now, this one is a little bit different because I have this 9x plus 6 in the numerator, which I can factor out to see if I can simplify anything. So when I factor it out, I end up with 3 times 3x plus 2. And that's going to be over my same denominator because all I did was factor. And then what do you notice? You notice that the 3's can cancel out and become 1. So my actual answer is going to be 3x plus 2 over x plus 5 times 4x plus 1. So that one had a little twist at the end, but still very doable. Just got to make sure that we have those skills to factor. So our last two problems now, this is going to be complex fractions. So when you're looking at complex fractions, remember, you can write complex fractions as something much easier that you can understand. So let's go ahead and do that first. So I can rewrite this as 1 plus 1 over x divided by 1 minus x over y. So that looks a little bit better because you have like the division sign in the middle that looks a little bit different. So let's go ahead and simplify the left and then simplify the right and then put them back together. So I'm actually going to do that down at the bottom of the page. I'm going to start with the 1 plus 1 over x. So when I look at 1 plus 1 over x, I know this can be written as 1 over 1 plus 1 over x. And then to make a common denominator, this 1 over 1 can become x over x because 1 can be written in many different ways. So x over x plus 1 over x. And that's going to give me x plus 1 over x. So this is really going to be x plus 1 over x divided by. Now let's simplify the other side. I have 1 minus x over y. I need a y in the denominator, so I know I can rewrite 1 as y over y minus x over y. So I end up with y minus x over y. So this one is y minus x over y. And so now this is a division problem. And what do I do when I am doing division of two fractions? I keep the first one, which is x plus 1 over x. And then I multiply by the second one, the reciprocal. So that's y over y minus x. And when I multiply it out, I have y times x plus 1 over x times y minus x. And when I actually do the multiplication, that's xy plus y over xy minus x squared. And so that will be my answer. So it's a complex fraction, and it looks difficult, but if you just break it down, look at your numerator and look at your denominator, then you should be good. So the next problem is also a complex fraction. I want you to take some time and try to figure that one out on your own, and then once you have, then come back and let's work it together, and that'll be our last problem for the day.